Hi, I'm Bridget, and thank you so much for joining me this morning for 10 minutes of yoga to start your day. And we're going to get started today by first drawing the left foot in towards us and then just bringing the right foot to rest in front of it. Sitting up nice and tall, so creating a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the tailbone, closing down the eyes and taking a moment to connect with the breath. Just letting the hands rest on the knees here. See if you can keep the knees drawing down towards your mat, down towards the earth. Nice and tall through the spine. Breathing deeply. Just enjoying this moment of stillness. And becoming really present in this moment. And then from here, we're going to interlace the hands. You can keep the eyes closed down here or just gently blink them open. So interlace the fingers. We're going to flip the palms and press them away from us and then slowly reach them up. So taking your time, draw the shoulders back and let them drop away from the ears here. So creating a little bit of space between the ears and the shoulders as we reach up nice and tall through the spine, nice and active through the core here as well. So hugging the lower ribs down as we sit up nice and tall. See if you can keep those knees drawing down. They might feel like they want to lift away from our mat. We're going to keep them drawing down, that nice connection with the hip bones to our mat. Reaching through the arms, opening up through side body. Then just go for a little rock from side to side. Again, you might start to feel like those knees want to lift up here. We're going to keep them drawing down. As we stay with the breath, so breathing nice and deeply. And then coming back to center, really slowly reaching the arms out to the side as we exhale and bring the hands back to our mat. And then we'll walk the palms in front of us and begin to walk them out as we fold forward. You should start to feel a nice little stretch through the hips here. And then coming up onto the fingertips, we walk the hands over to the right. Keeping the hips pressing down into our mat, keeping those knees drawing down. And then we come back through center with the hands and walk them all the way over to the left. You should start to feel that nice deep stretch into the right hip here. Keep that right knee drawing down. And then slowly we'll make our way back to center with the hands and then walk them back in towards us, coming back up to seated. We'll switch the feet, so bring the right foot in towards you first and then just rest the left in front of you. Come back to stillness, sitting up nice and tall. You can close down the eyes again here. Again, just finding a moment of stillness, taking this moment to become really present at the beginning of your day. And then again, when you're ready, you can keep the eyes closed down here or gently blink them open. We interlace the hands. See if you can interlace them the opposite way. So bring the opposite thumb on top this time. We press the palms away from us and then inhale, reach the hands up and overhead. My hair's tickling my face. Reaching up nice and tall. Again, hug the lower ribs down, keeping that connection with the sit bones to our mat. Knees are drawing down. We go for that little rock from side to side, opening up through the side body. Nice and aware through the head and the neck here. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Create a little bit of space. And then make your way back to center. On an exhale, we reach the hands out to either side, bringing them down really slowly back to our mat. And then we bring the hands in front and we walk them forward. Folding forward, we hinge at the hips, round through the spine. You can let the head drop here, breathing into the hips. And then coming back up onto the fingertips, we walk the hands all the way over to the left. And come back through center. We take the hands all the way over to the right. This time you should feel that really nice deep stretch through the left hip. Breathing deeply, staying with the breath. Moving nice and slowly. And then we come back to center. Walk the hands back in towards you. We're going to make our way onto all fours and then find our downward facing dog. So stacking the shoulders above the wrist, the hip points above the knees. We're going to walk the hands forward just an inch or two, tuck the toes under, and then press to lift the knees away from our mat and send the hips back. Breathing into the backs of the legs. So give the feet a little bit of a pedal here, dropping one heel down and then the other. Really nice and strong through the arms. So pressing the chest back towards the tops of the thighs. Nice and long through the spine. Squeezing the shoulder blades together and away from the ears. Nice and active through the core. So finding a little bit of movement here in your downward facing dog. And then finding stillness for 3 nice deep breaths. Maybe closing down the eyes. Nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Maybe let it out through the mouth this time. And then we'll look forward towards the hands, bend through the knees, go for a nice slow walk up towards the top end of your mat, and we'll walk the feet as wide as our yoga mat in our forward fold. So hinging at the hips, give the knees a nice generous bend here, round through the head and the neck. Just keeping the hands down towards your mat, or you might like to clasp opposite elbows, go for a little sway from side to side. Again, breathing into the backs of the legs. Bend those knees even more so that you can release through the lower spine. And then we'll plant the palms, lift up halfway. So start to flatten out through the spine, hinging from the hips, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Keep that nice bend into our knees. And then exhale, we fold it forward. And then we'll plant the palms about shoulder distance apart. We're going to walk the feet back into our plank, holding here for 3 nice deep breaths, nice and strong through the arms. Tuck the tailbone down for this one. See if you can flatten out through the spine. So imagining a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the heels. Nice and aware through the head and the neck. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. So just adjusting as you need to. One more breath here. And then we'll drop the knees. We're going to take our thread the needle pose from here. So bring the big toes together. Walk the knees about as wide as your yoga mat. Then we'll bring the left hand to the center of our mat. Inhale, reach nice and long through the right arm. And then exhale, we thread it underneath the left and bring the right side of the head down to your mat. Twisting into this pose. See if you can level out the hips here. You've got that left hand in front of you so you can press into that left hand. Otherwise, you might like to reach it up and over, grabbing onto the top of that right thigh. Really reaching nice and strong through that right arm. Maybe closing down the eyes. And then we'll bring the left hand back to the mat if it's not there already. Come back to the hands and knees. We'll take it to the other side. So this time, bring the right hand to the center of your mat. Inhale, we reach nice and long through the left arm. And exhale, we thread it underneath, coming down onto the left side of the head this time. Again, level out the hips, reaching nice and long through that left arm. Find your twist. You can keep that right hand in front of you, or you might like to reach it up and over. Just taking a hold of the left leg this time. Breathing deeply, maybe closing down the eyes. And then we'll unravel. So bring that right hand back down to your mat. Come back up onto the hands and knees, and we'll close our practice in seated. So coming back to whatever seated position feels most comfortable for you. And again, sitting up nice and tall, close down the eyes. We come back to stillness, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Letting the breath return to normal. And taking this feeling of presence, this stillness and patience into the day ahead. Knowing you can come back to this feeling of stillness at any time throughout your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this 10-minute practice this morning. I hope you have an amazing day ahead of you. We'll close our practice by taking a nice deep breath together. So we'll inhale the hands up and overhead, bringing the palms together, and then exhaling the hands down to heart space, bowing through the head. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.